What is going on, everybody? It's your boy David. We're back at it again with another deck profile video. Today we're going to be doing Phantom Knights. So I've been wanting to play Phantom Knights for a while. I was just waiting on my torn scales and stuff to come in, but as you know, on this channel we like the Exceed decks, especially from Arc 5. They're just really cool. But there's a lot of lists floating around, and the one I liked best was the one that had one, I forget what it was, but I was looking at it and I was wondering, why was this deck winning when there's so many variants that didn't seem to really like go towards the top and really get the first place stuff. And after testing it for a while and making a few changes of things I personally liked, I kind of figured out why. I think it's because this is a 41 card deck and a lot of them are playing like a little over that, closer to 50, and what I found was there's just a lot of redundant combos that you keep in your hand. Like, no matter what cards you draw, you're basically doing the same combo, and so you into doubles. Well, yes, you could say that you increase your chances of opening combo, but at the same time, like, this whole deck is just one big extender. Like, every card is just built to extend, and I think that is why that deck was able to like get it all. It's because once you'll see like the combo, you'll see why you don't need to build an overly big deck and have all these extra cards. So without further ado, we'll get into it, and I'll kind of explain what I'm talking about by like redundant cards and just keeping it kind of simple. First up, we're gonna play 1 gloves. A lot of decks playing this at 3, but you end up sending this anyway, so you don't need the 3, and like you've got a cloak, just 1 cloak, and they all kind of do the same stuff anyway. They both send to grave, and this one lets you add this one. But so we're playing 1 of each of these, and we'll get a little more into the combo of why those later. Next up, the best card in the deck, 3 Torn Scale. Thank you, Konami, for printing this. It really makes this deck just go. It's like you've got a good normal summon monster that you just see this and a card to discard, and bam, you're ready to go. So 3 Torn Scale. Next up, just 2 Silent Boots. You can only use 1 of each effects per turn, the special and the search, so you don't need it. You can get these quite literally both in the same combo, so you only 2 of these, and it's a good special summon fodder. Next up, what I call honorary Phantom Knights, just because the artwork looks like a Phantom Knight card. Kagemucha Knight. This is all of your warrior package. If you normal summon a level 3 monster, it doesn't have to be a warrior, but just you normal summon level 3, you can normal summon Ash Blossom for all this cares, and not once per turn. You can special summon this card from your hand. So just extender. Next up, we've got the Fiend package. We have Tour Guide and your Burning Abyss cards. So obviously you know what these do. This specials out of Fiend and it doesn't pop it when you do it. This you send and it specials Seer. When it hits the grave, specials back your Cherubini. And this, you play this because you need a 3rd card in case you open 1 of these to be able to trigger your Cherubini. And also this one, because we play this card, Edge Up Sabers, this can actually special this from the hand. You can also get it off of Tour Guide too. This is something I added because you can draw Dark Magician and Red Eyes and still play the game just fine. If you draw Fusion, that sucks. So this is a searchable, sendable way to get your Red Eyes Fusion back in the deck. You just send it off of Cherubini, stack the Red Eyes, and bam, you've got a level 3 extender on your hands. So, and if you just don't want to summon these because you have other cards to go in hand, you can just summon it straight off of Tour Guide, and it's also an extender. So yeah, that is what the Fiend package is for the deck. Next up, we're going to move on to just what makes this deck be able to play going second and play through negates. Is just the fact that you've got all of these extension cards. You play the 2 psychic wielders and the trackers. So special this if you got no monsters. If you have a wind, you can special this. If you summon this, it searches this. If you open this in this deck, it's not even a brick because you just make Sea Dragon Leviair and bam, there's a wind and you can summon. And then you get the special what comes off of Leviair as well. So no downside for playing this in the deck. So other decks I wouldn't play if you like just as a general extender, but this deck, level 3 dot deck, you know, these are really good. These just control any level 3. Ash Blossom, Tour Guide, any of your cards, like it doesn't matter what kind of card it is. Special them both have the same effect. Those are your extenders. And 2 dangers. This has like multiple synergies in the deck, so obviously they're dangerous, so you can just choose to activate them, get an extender, draw a card at worst. So yeah. Also the fact that this deck does discard, like if you make Dragoon, just discard one of these, now you have a negate and you get your danger. And you also, there's times that you have like a Phantom Knight in hand and you want to discard it. So this is a way that you can get those discards too. And it's level 3 extenders once again. Next up, the bricks, but the legendary monsters. Just got playing for Dragoon, Red Eyes, and Dark Magician. And for our only hand traps in the deck, because for A, we side them, but B, you can already play. This is just the only hand trap that like, because you not want this deck, you can't really play a bunch of hand traps and do the engine if you're wanting to like do it like a generic go first. So this is one hand trap that you don't care if you see going first because you end on your board. And if you have to pick one hand trap in the game, a lot of times you went ahead and pick this just because it hits the most cards. Spells. This is a way to search your warriors, so your Phantom Knights. This special is your Psychic Wielders. It's just an extender. And then you've got the Red Eyes. This is your summon package. This is all your spells that summon monsters from the deck. Lastly, we have Harpy's Feather Duster. You play one because you don't want to play a deck that has like 0 ways to destroy some back row. This isn't that great versus Eldritch, but it's good against the mirror match. And it's also good against like, you know, those rogue wandering Mystic Mind players that you're going to see at every tournament. And another card that if it wasn't in this deck specifically, I don't necessarily like this format because we are in a control kind of back row heavy format. But in this deck, you want it because you want to send things to the grave. So this is a way you can get like a Fog Blade to the grave that's on the field that's lost its target because it won't send itself. Also gets Phantom Knights and graves. So this is a way to also, because you don't play a lot of hand traps, this is a way to break boards if you need to. The attack declaration phase, so like, or during the damage step, I mean. This is just ways to out things. It's just a good generic way to get cards engraved and also negate some effects. Like I said, in this deck I like it. In a lot of other decks I wouldn't probably main it unless those decks need discards. Lastly, the 1 Brigadine, and then the 3 Fog Blades. This deck is more than just negate Fog Blade. This deck right here, these cards, these Fog Blades, they save your like behind, okay? Because in phase banish, get back a Bardiche, send one, keep your combo going. Just the being able to banish to search, or it's a special, just the recursion this deck has. It's crazy. Like you can get Zeused. There's so many times I've been playing this deck. My opponent summons Zeus, I negate everything. They're down to like their last material, but they Zeus the board away, and then in phase I get back my Bardiche, and I can just rebuild my board. So because you're playing Phantom Knights, you get rewarded playing this card beyond other decks that play the Bardiche engine, because you get to actually use the recursion effect and it be relevant. So yeah, that's it for the main deck. That is 40 cards, or 41. I'm sorry, 41 cards, because we add the Edge Imp Sabers. Like I said, I like this build from what I found online because I can see why it runs the best. You cut out all the fat of all these other cards that all do kind of generic-y stuff, and it also cuts down the bricks too. Because if you open doubles that can't summon themselves, then you know it's what's the point? Next up is the extra deck. So you play the 2 break swords. You know, have these. This is how you get your rank 4. It's also how you pop things. The Raider's Knight. Normally you make this off of break swords because you pop it. They come out as level 4s, and then that lets you rank up into your Arc Rebellion. We don't play the Evil Swarm Nightmare because you can't make it going first without popping yourself off of Bardiche. You really don't want to do that. If I'm doing that, I want it to be a turn 3 or me going second because I lost die roll, and then make the OTK. You'll see what I replaced and why, because and there was one big flaw this deck had in testing that the guy must have not ran into just because people aren't playing. But I'll tell you what the flaw was in just a second. Okay, next up, Levier Sea Dragon. This is a wind. It saves your Heine on if you open the Taki Tomboy, but also just a way to get back your piece into the grave so you can keep on doing your loops. And here is what we added because we play the Yugioh. The reason we play this is in this deck, if your opponent summons Avramax before, if you didn't have this was Evil Swarm Nightmare, you had 0 ways to out that Avramax. There was no way to out it. So I had that happen. I was playing ladder on Omega and was just doing great, going undefeated like 20 games in a row. And then finally got someone to just play the Avramax, and I just lost. And this, I'm talking, he had no cards on field. He had no cards in hand. He just had the one Avramax. I could not out it. So after that game, I swore never again. We played the Yugioh. This itself single-handedly outs it, but also it's an easier way to get into your Zeus. You could get into Zeus before, but it required kind of hoping that one of your Exceeds was able to live during the battle phase. But right here, this just ensures that you get your Zeus, and it also is a way to out monsters that are hard to get rid of. So I suggest putting this in your extra deck for sure, because you don't want to get stalled out like that. Next up is Bardiche and Cherubini. Just, you know, what makes this deck good. Link Spider, you make this because of you need an effect monster to go into your Predaplant Verte. So you make this off of the Brigadine. Appaloosa, you do make this in the combo. One of your best boards is basically Bardiche up here, Predaplant over here, the Dragoon somewhere in the field, and then a bow of the Appaloosa, and then like 1 or 2 Fog Blades, and then a discard in hand. So this is a good card. This could be maybe an Avramax, whatever. This could be whatever you want, but honestly, it's just it's Appaloosa, right? So you want as many negates as you can get. We play 2 Nightmares, just generic removal. You don't want to have at least some more ways to get rid of random cards. You don't want to lose a duel just because you chose not to play some sort of removal. And then you've got the Dragoon engine here. Verte into Red-Eyes Dragoon. Alright, lastly, I'll show the side deck. The side deck is basically more for, I added in a lot of back row stuff because I didn't like just having one duster. You play Pankratops, just a good generic free summon. This deck doesn't care about being locked into archetypes or anything, so free fodder, it's a good way to out stuff. Play 3 Droll for the Drytron. What can I say, it's Droll. Good generic card. 3 Lancia, good against Eldritch, good against Drytron, good against a lot of stuff. The Nibiru, because it's Nibiru. Play combo decks, just punish them. These are your going first cards. You play 2 Talents and Graves. These can be flex spots. Don't be too... don't cry yourself to sleep because you can't get these. You can play a Call by the Grave and basically whatever you want. This is just... You play the 3 Ash. you win game one, or you lose game one, or however it is, and you just happen to know you're going first, you know for sure you're going first, take out your ashes, put these in, bam. I just wanted something so I didn't have an ash and I know I'm going first. And 2 lightning storms, just, this can be twisters, this can be literally any, don't worry about the price tag once again, like I said, just, you want a couple more ways to out back row. And this is just a good, like, you can choose to get the back row of the monsters, so I'll play that. So yeah, guys, that is the deck. I will go on to a combo for you. Thanks. Alright guys, we're getting ready to do the combo, so I'll do a test hand here. It's okay to just do a random test hand instead of just a pre-made combo, because as you'll see, like, basically just any way to get to the beanie or whatever, like, you're golden. So yeah. We'll just do this, give it a good shuffle. Because like I said, the combo is basically the same. If you open more extenders than what I might open, then you can get into your Appaloosa too. But that would just be if you have like one more way to extend. So just cut in half here. Alright. So combo number 1. We open with extender. That, and this. Okay. Interesting hand, interesting hand. So here we would normal summon the Phantom Torn Scales. Because we did, we can special this. I'd go ahead and get the teleport out, go ahead and get your free psychic. Because, you know, the more the merrier. Alright, so we got Graph in hand, so that's okay. Normally the combo, this actually makes things a little easier. So here, we don't need to worry about using Phantom Knight's Torn Scales because we want the fodder, and I don't want to discard because we got Dragoon. So really, here, you would just choose not to use the effect because you already have so many extenders. If you only open this and nothing else, well, of course, yeah, you want that. But here, don't worry about it. You want to keep something in hand. So these two go into Cherubini, and then Cherubini effect, send a Burning Abyss, and then get 1,000 attack to it. Normally here, if you didn't have this, it's just any card, you would send Graph, special Seer, and then link these two in the Bardiche and then get back this. But because we already have Graph in hand, what we're going to do is we're going to send let's see, where's it at? We got Seer, so we're probably going to send Libic, and that way we can get a Fiend out of our hand. Because either way it can special itself to the pointer, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Sorry guys, this deck has so many like alternate branching paths. Like it all does the same stuff, but it doesn't really matter how you want to do it. Send this just because you don't want to end up drawing that later. You could do Edge Imp Sabers here if you really wanted. Libic will hit, and when it goes to the grave, you can special summon a Dark Fiend type from your hand, which we have one. Special this there. Okay. As you can see, we got stuff in grave. We're gonna go ahead and go into our good old boy Bardiche. No point in using Graph because if you summon the Seer, it's just gonna pop itself anyway. But let's see, if we did that, if we summoned Graph, Seer would pop and it could reborn this. So actually, yeah, we'll do that. So go ahead and activate your, go ahead and activate Graph. Special summon your Seer. Seer, because it destroys itself. Because it got sent to the grave, you can use its effect and get Cherubini. So yeah, that was the long way around, but it's basically the same effect. If you didn't draw the graph, this is still literally the exact same board. We just went a different way about it. Okay, we'll use Bardiche, and we will probably send. Where is he at? Where's it at? We're gonna send Gloves, and that's gonna let us set the Brigandine. We're going to banish the Gloves, and that will trigger Torn Scale. Torn Scale will come out. Gloves will send Cloak. Here you can go ahead and special summon Brigandine because you got no traps in grave. Link off the Brigandine into Link Spider because you want the effect. Here I go ahead and go into Verte because you want to make sure that you don't like mess up and take away your link zones. Don't use the effect yet. Just go ahead and get it out. Cloak. Banish. Search. Boots. Because you have Phantom Knights, you can special boots. Here, there's a few lines of play. You can go into some shenanigans with like Levier and stuff, but honestly, why do that when you can just Appaloosa here? Use a Link 2 and the 2 Link rating 1s. Go into App. Banish Boots. Search Frogblade. Got these in hand. You go ahead and activate Anaconda. Send Red Eyes. And then now you get your 2 legendary monsters out of the deck. And we make our best friend Dark Dragoon. You set 1, make sure you keep a card in hand for your Dragoon. So here you've got 3 negates because it came out with 3 materials. You've got a negate and Dragoon can't be stored, and you've got a way to not run over Dragoon, which is about the only way you can out this card without generic non-targeting removal. So yeah, guys, that is basically the bare minimum combo. You just always get 2 level 3s, go into Cherubini, Cherubini Graph, special out the Burning Abyss, make the Bardiche, the Seer will get back this, and then from there you're golden. So I hope you guys enjoyed the combo. This is just a basic way to play it. This is pretty much what you end on all the time. You can still play through Nibiru in this deck for the most part, even though you might not get a Dragoon out, because the Nibiru you still will gonna have. If they Nibiru you, you can always just choose to go into like a control heavy, where you can just get like 1 to 3 Fog Blades, and you can get recursion for next turn. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Please click the subscribe button. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this was somewhat like informative to you, and I hope you guys try this deck out. Anyways, guys, peace. Yeah.